Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key, babe. That's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.
Okay. Boy, it takes me hard now to get myself onto the podcast. It took me over a minute just to slide my mouse cursor to highlight to put me on. And then when I did, it bounced me off again. So I have the cursor parked so it doesn't wiggle around. But good evening and good evening, Grace. I'm welcome everyone to a live podcast. And tonight we're here to fight CPS and stop taking our children. I'm your host, Bob Pace. And you just heard a brief introduction from Vincent Davis about CPS and how he can help you. And he has a lot of ways that he can. There's a lot of podcasts. He gave out several websites. Join his school so you know when events are taking place. He has a question and answering during the week. It's called Office Hours. Then on Saturday at 10:30, he has a show about anything you have the questions to ask. You have to always register for these podcasts. And my podcast is open. All you need to do is find me on Facebook, Fighting CPS, and you'll be connected here. There are 7 Facebook rooms and 1 YouTube room. We're all connected to here, so if you say a comment in one of the rooms, I will say it. I will definitely say it. Now, I'm going to be putting up messages on my screen. The first one is how to text a message. I'm trying to use messages so you all can read and still have to talk about it. So read that about how to text a message to me and try to follow it. It's really important. And the reason why I say country is because we have 20 countries that also participate and have CPS problems. This podcast is open to anyone that wants to talk about or help out in CPS. You have a question or comment, I will help you. Now, we got to be careful in this room because we respect one another. And I certainly don't need to have any political views expressed on here or things that sometimes we have people that are called trolls that visit the rooms. But all of you are respectful. All of you are my family. So many of you repeatedly come back night and morning. I invited all my morning group to come here tonight, and I welcome you all here. We're here to help one another. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father. I have 41 years of marriage experience, and I've helped raise 6 children. My oldest son is in his 40s. My two daughters are in their 30s, and my three youngest children are in their 20s and teens. My youngest is just turned 19. And so that's quite a range. Sadly, one of my child is missing thanks to CPS. You probably said, how can CPS do something? Well, they retaliated, and I'm angry about it. And I've been fighting this CPS for 15 years. 5 years was dealing with false accusations. And then the next 3 years is when they kidnapped my three children and fought me for 3 years. Luckily, I sold my home, which I didn't want to get enough money to pay Vincent Davis to bring my boys back. I lost out on my daughter because a social worker committed perjury and she was caught red-handed and she retaliated. She eliminated our daughter by emancipating her at age 12. Deleted her name, gave a new name, sealed her birth certificate, got a new birth certificate, got a new social security card so she could double dip for money from Social Security from my retirement, not anybody else's. So she was milking the Social Security illegally for two sets of amounts. And then, of course, she was adopted by these grandparents. And my wife and I are still very bitter about it. And that's sad because she is a very precocious, beautiful child. She's 22 now, but so far she wants nothing to do with the family, except she does see her brothers. I've kept that window open so that she can still see her brothers. Now, a third way you can interact in this podcast is by being a guest. And there's instructions of how to be a guest. Grace is my producer, and she will help you get on my show as a guest. Now, my shows are daily, twice a day, 7 days a week, once in the morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and once at 7 o'clock at night Pacific Standard Time. If you guys don't know Pacific Standard Time, it's the west coast of California. I live in Surf City, 3 blocks from the ocean. Now, I have a wealth of life skills in me. Yes, I'm old now. I don't think I'm old, but they say anybody that's over the age of 50 is old. I disagree with that. I'm 75. I don't feel old. I'm not a dinosaur. I'm a fighter. And I know that you guys are really hurting with your CPS case. Now, when I say CPS, I mean the Child Protection Systems. There's numerous systems in every county of every state. There's numerous systems throughout the world. Everybody knows what CPS is. So when I say CPS, I mean the Child Protection System. If you're in Arizona, it's Department of Children's Services. If you're in Kentucky, it's the Cabinet. If you're in California, they make it hard on you. One county, the Orange County, says Child Protection Services. The other county next door, LA County, says Department of Children and Family Services. I think they do these name differences to confuse everybody. CPS is very confusing. They're very misleading. They build your hopes up and your hopes down. Now, in this room, I talk about 4 ways to interact with this podcast. And I have 5 rules. And I'm getting those 5 rules developed to be putting on as messages on banners yet. One important thing I need to get on that Vincent asked a month or 2 ago, and I had asked, is that there is a new guide out that Vincent created. It's called the Grandparents Guide for California Parents of how to see your grandchildren, how to get your grandchildren, how to be guardian of your grandchildren. It's a real important guide. And right now it's being sold for $4.99. And if you use my name code, which is PACE, P-A-C-E, capitalized 50, it'll get you 50% off. It's $4.99. And I know some of you already purchased the guide. It can help you in any state or any country. But it's for grandparents to help get their children, help visit with their grandchildren. Now, I see that Tessa is first up to bat. Poor Tessa came on this morning, and I was already after my time. It was about 11:15 or something, and Tessa came in late. And I said, Tessa, come in at the beginning. So tonight, she's determined to be here at the beginning. And yes, you are, Tessa. Now, Tessa's from California. She and her husband have a case, and it's a very disturbing case. It shows you how corrupt the CPS is all over the state of California. They have a social worker that has lied. They went to court this past Wednesday. And the social worker lied. Not only that, they have had their public defender or court appointed attorney, they kicked him in the seat of pants. She's also talked to Mr. Davis, by the way. She got good advice. If your court appointed attorney or public defender does not want to work for you, you have to kick him in the seat of pants. He works for you, not social services. Even though he's hired by the child protection system, he works for you. The sad part is that attorney is only a criminal attorney. He knows nothing about juvenile family dependency law. Nothing. And so with that being said, I'll be right with you, Tessa. She's already got some comments in. And she told her attorney, Vincent told her what to do, because she wanted to subpoena witnesses. She wanted to subpoena the sheriff, her doctor, and I think it's the neighbor. Anyway, what had happened, she was wrongfully accused when she was going through seizures that her husband was beating her. Instead, he was trying to hold her so she doesn't hurt herself. They immediately took her child away, and the social worker's lying about things. So she has subpoenaed the doctor to come, because anytime you have a document, it has to be the author's got to be present. It's hearsay. Paperwork is fine, but you need the person that authored the document to be present. And so she is. She also has a welfare check done by a sheriff that saw nothing wrong there. And she has the neighbor who didn't report that. The social worker made that up. See, social workers are so liars. Yesterday in court, Betty from Montana was in court, and now they're delaying it again because why? The social worker says the CAPC, which is a special agency that transports kids. I'm probably saying the acronym wrong. But they said it expired. And she said, no, it didn't. And she's got it there in front. So the social worker is buffaloing the judge. You would not believe, you know how corrupt it is, everybody out there. And Tessa will tell you. I need to catch up with Tessa here. Let me put my phone number up, because I've already told you how to be a guest. I already told you how to interact with this podcast. Now I'll put my number up. That number, by the way, is my office number. I use Vonage, which is a software application for phone calling. And that phone number is available if you want to call in. Now, Tessa's first comment I'll put on the screen. I need to put the comments on because you won't see them if I don't. And she says, hey, Bob, I was in a visit this morning. Sorry I missed you. We got 2 hours this Friday instead of 1. Well, that is good. So you had a case this morning. I'm glad you're keeping me informed, Tessa. See what she says. She says something about seizure. I know you have a seizure at times, Tessa. I know your case was about the accusation that your husband was beating up on you, and he was not. It may take me a moment to move around because my cursor moves very slow. So I apologize for any delay. Okay. Okay, I thought I put that up. I guess you said seizure, Bob, twice. I don't know. Did I say something wrong? I said you were. Did you have a seizure this morning in court? I'm confused. Someone tore down all my petition flyers in front of CPS here in Shasta County, too. Well, they're going to tear down your petition flyers. I know Tessa's trying to do a petition with CPS. The problem is you need to work on your case first. You cannot antagonize CPS or do a lawsuit against CPS or even do the petitions too soon. You need to have your child home with you. By you doing that, it's just going to antagonize them, and they are bad about doing it. They are liars and cheaters. They're going to make your life like hell. They're going to make your life like hell. I know you mean well, Tessa, but you don't want to do that, especially you don't want to antagonize CPS. Now, I know that you're using a court-appointed attorney. He doesn't care. I know you had to put the fire underneath the seat of his pants to work for you because you threatened him with a lawsuit of negligence and also report him to the Bar Association that he's a bad lawyer. That's the problem using court-appointed attorneys. So, Tessa, I know it's all about seizures. I started my show talking about you and how you're wrongly accused that your husband was beating you when he was trying to help you with seizures. So what happened today? You had 2 hours. Can you come on the show and talk about it by calling me at 626-698-0990? By the way, I was talking earlier about the grandparent guide for California, for grandparents to get guardianship of their grandchildren step by step. You can call 888-6582. Tell them that Bob Pace sent you when you talk to the staff there and say you want to purchase the guide. It's the Grandparents Guide of California, a step-by-step guide of how to get guardianship and how to visit your grandchildren, how to see your grandchildren. It's an excellent guide. Now, there is a website that you can go on and get it too. I'm trying to get that website along with the guide to my show producer, Grace, who can add it as another I'm trying to think of the word, another banner. I want to put it on the screen and show it to everybody. And it was faxed to me by Vincent's group, and I knew that Grace was a part of it somehow. With all the things with the New Year and the Christmas and the death of Grace's dad, which I'm so sorry to hear that her father's gone. And God bless you, Grace, because you did mighty well. She maintained helping me, even though she wasn't here behind the scenes, but she created shows and did a nice job. I really want to thank her. But if you're hearing me, Grace, that's one of the things that I had written you to put on there. Also, my 5 rules, I wanted to put them on in a abbreviated format so I could play them like I'm doing right now, right now, because I can do them and they can see the banner. There's one other banner you guys are all seeing that's running across the bottom of my screen. It's how to talk to Vincent Davis for 30 minutes for $60. You just go to the website, follow the prompts, get your credit card, and for $60, you can have a private Zoom meeting with Vincent Davis. Or better yet, if you want a 15-minute private Zoom meeting with Vincent Davis, all you have to do is be a guest on my show or the call in. Now, Tessa's done that, and other people have done it, where they call in and talk on my phone. That will qualify you for a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Vincent Davis. Now, Mr. Davis is a juvenile family dependency lawyer with over 39 years of experience of fighting CPS, and he has very successful rate of getting children back to their parents. He knows how to fight CPS, and he will go anywhere. He's a trial attorney, and he has cases in Orange County, LA County, Riverside County, San Bernardino County, and Northern California has several cases. And I know he's helping some people in the United States. He's helping a woman in Oklahoma, a woman in Montana. He goes all over the place. The only difference is he physically leaves the state or goes someplace, he has per diem. That's part of his cost. The airfare, the ground transportation, the hotel, and the food. Those are 4 things that he needs to budget in there. And so it is a little expensive, but he's no more expensive than the other. He do a better job for you. He's one of your 3 candidates that you should research. You need to find 3 lawyers. My rule number 1 says find 3 lawyers. And I don't mean the court-appointed attorney or the public defender. They're useless. They're lazy. They're only criminal attorneys. They've barely been out of law school. They're controlled by CPS. And they're also controlled by the judge. And a lot of the judges are crooked. These attorneys have a caseload of 30 more. CPS makes that happen. So they don't have time for their clients. Also, CPS wants you to use court-appointed attorney, not only for yourselves, but for your children, because then they can control the outcome. Because why? Because CPS for many years has found a greed in money. It's a $1 trillion business. They get so much money from bonuses and incentives. President Clinton signed a law in 1994 that says we will give you extra money, federal money, to any CPS that gets the children adopted into foster care, because family reunification, which you're supposed to do, takes too long, which is wrong. Family reunification must happen. If their children are taken, and lately they're taken so bad now, they're taken without questions. They're not in danger. My 3 kids were taken and they were not in danger. It's so they can collect the money. Now, I know in Orange County that they're paying for each of my children $20,000. The county was getting that from the state. The state gets it from the federal government. There's no accountability. There's nobody watching the money or how it's being spent. It frees slowly from the federal government to the state down to the county. And you guys ask the question, why is the government always out of money every 6 months? Well, it's stupid things like that. They don't need to give that high amount of money, and they need to have controls on it. There's $1 million missing in Richmond, Kentucky in the CPS coffers. They have found an individual that took $400,000. He's a CPS worker. He has sponged that much money. So there is corruption there. There's a lot of corruption. And I hope that the people that President Trump have appointed, Elon Musk, find out the waste of government spending. Right now, if you need a toilet seat in a regular Navy barracks, they are sending an invoice for a regular toilet seat, not a jet plane toilet seat, a toilet seat, and it's $15,000. When in the world, what kind of toilet seat you're going to need for your military people to sit on? That's worth $15,000. But it goes in, it's not even checked. It's rubber stamped. There's too much rubber stamp in government. There's too much corruption in government. And CPS is one of the worst government agencies that's corrupt. So is the IRS. So is the Department of Motor Vehicles. So is the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And that's why Trump is losing or getting rid of a lot of things. I mean, it's really remarkable. He got the control of abortion taken away from federal hands and put it in state hands. He's got the federal money that going out to kids to be put to the state. Let the state dictate what they need for their school programs. All that sounds good. He's closing the border. Because why? The CPS has been inundated by people from other countries. You see, when you walk in, social services gives them food. shelter, clothing, transportation, education, medical, and even help them find a job. They don't even do that to you guys. Did you know that the social worker, the CPS social worker, is supposed to offer you the same? If you're down and out, you are. But the people in the United States, the poor people are not getting any help from social services. I know that experience. I know how awful and how they lie, and how they retaliate. I know from firsthand experience. Now, I have Betty from Montana just came in, and she says, good evening. And good evening, Betty. Welcome. Betty's the mother. She is a grandmother and a mother, and she's adopt her niece, her brother's child. And she had him set to go from Nebraska to Montana. But guess what? The social worker lied and said that the organization, the permit had expired. And that wasn't true at all. She lied. I can tell you, of the 900 some people I've talked to, they all told me how CPS lies. I don't say all of CPS is bad, but only 4 CPS people have called in here. So, good evening, Betty, and welcome. She's one of my family. Betty further says, welfare petition against the caseworker for perjury today because lied about the case, saying my stuff expired, and it doesn't expire till March. And she sweared under oath had expired. Well, I'm glad you did that, Betty, because that's wrong what the social worker does. When you commit perjury, you open yourself to a lawsuit. You're open to a lawsuit. So if it expired, that's wrong. They're taking the law in their own hands. The Child Protection Agency or the system is corrupt. It's gone rogue. It's so hard to fight CPS because you have to, because they're so corrupt. It's like open heart surgery. Open heart surgery is a very specialized field, and it requires a specialized doctor. Just like fighting CPS is a specialized field, and it requires a specialized lawyer. A lawyer that believes in you. That believes in you. Okay, I had another room come in, repeat itself again. I get comments from rooms that come in repeatedly, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I apologize if your comment gets mixed in the room things here. So I have to play catch up now. And the way my cursor is working now, I have to go to escape, backspace, escape, spacebar, and now try to move the cursor up so that I can see who's called in. So we have Juvenile Dependency, The Secret Out of the Fight, Relatives Fight CPS, Reality Series. Okay, the next comment I have, that's CPS. Wow. Geez. Margaret. Hey, Margaret from St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome, Margaret. Welcome here. Welcome very, very much. Glad to see you here. Now, we have a new person. I don't think I've ever met you, Cache Drayton. I message and had a comment in this community about not having children. North Dakota laughed with remarks from CPS. It's all types of assumption. Help. I want to help you. I think you said you're from North Dakota. ND stands for North Dakota. Now, I know North Dakota. We've had some people from South Dakota and North Dakota call in, and some of them are from the Native American Indians of the United States. I think one was the Lakota Sioux and Rosebud Reservation. Then we got the Standing Rock Reservation. And I'm not sure in North Dakota it was an Indian, but I like to know what city or county is your North Dakota, and a little bit more about your case. A little bit more. I like to know what was the bad comment. And there's nothing wrong about not having children, getting laughed at with remarks from CPS. I don't know if you can't have children anymore, or that you can't have children, but I'd love for you to tell me more, Cache. Hello there, Akima Richardson. She's from Brooklyn, New York. She has her own podcast. She too is helping children and helping families. And she actually went back and got a law degree in dependency law. She has a lawyer. She's fighting her case, but she did that. So glad to see you. And Akima Richardson is KK. So sometimes I call her KK, sometimes I call her King. She says hello to the room. That's sweet of you, KK. That's sweet of you. And Akima says, I completed my testimony for fact finding. Yay! She's been working on that for months. She's been a part of my room, I think, for at least a year. And she had that going on there. We have closing arguments on the 22nd to complete trial. I will definitely pray for you. That's coming up. I know that Akima has got CPS on the ropes. She's trying to get her child back. Hi, Betty from Montana. No, I'm hoping with the judge knowing that she lied, that she is put away for perjury. Well, she can be fired for perjury. I think all you can do is a civil lawsuit for perjury. I don't know if it's a criminal act to lie. I don't know if she could be arrested for committing perjury on the stand. I know she could be sued civilly for millions of dollars, but I don't know if she can be put away. Wow. Akima has been with me since I started 15 months ago. God bless you, Akima. I did not really know. Cache Dayton says, I'm getting bad messages and getting bad comments back. CPS and need help. Well, you got to tell me more how I can help you or how the room can help you. Akima has a question for Betty. Did you put in a motion to have the judge excuse herself? And Betty says, Akima, not sure what you mean. KK, can you tell me more what you mean? Okay. Akima says, Betty, is your case over or is it still going on? And if so, did you ask for the judge to be excused? I think that's what you meant, KK. Now, I'm going to very slowly take a 2-minute break here to visit the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm back. I was a short break, and I'm much better now. Let me play catch up with the comments there. Now, are all you viewers seeing the comments, or do I need to post them on my picture? I don't know if you're all seeing that. Now, Tessa says, sorry, my phone sucks. It's okay, Tessa. I just got a new phone. Thank God now I can use Vonage. Betty says, still waiting to see if they're going to place. I guess her case still open, and how they're going to place her child, because she has expired. She does not have expired. There's Betty, if you could tell me the name of that organization that moves children around. I think it's CASC. I say it always wrong. Akima says, Betty, did you complete your classes to become approved? For guardianship, you're talking about, Akima? Also, Akima says, what part of the hearing are you doing right now? She wants to know what part of the hearing. She says, Akima, yes, all my stuff is done. Akima says, and you said you're waiting to see if they're going to place what the children with you. Yes, they're stopping it because the social worker lied that the transfer paperwork had expired from that organization that moves children around. I think it's called the CAPC. I keep saying it wrong. Akima says, because if you aren't the grandparent, you guys have a right. Okay, what it is, Akima, Betty has a brother who has a child. Anybody can be a guardianship. Betty wants to adopt the niece, the child. Arrangements have been made. The courts have approved. They have a paperwork that will transfer the child from Nebraska to Montana. Anyway, the social worker turned on Betty and lied in court that the thing was expired. And she's using a court-appointed attorney, and he kicked that attorney in the pants to show them that they don't. So they have another meeting with the judge. She is not a grandparent. I don't know what you call when someone's brother. She's an aunt. I think she's called an aunt. Her brother had a child, so she'd be an aunt to her niece. Betty says, yes, waiting still because we caught the caseworker lying that we put a motion in against to have the child placed with me. Okay, hold on. My cursor jumped and I lost all my comments here. Dang it. Put a motion in again, a second time, to have the child placed with me. So she went a second time. Okay, here comes a call in. Hello and welcome. This is Bob Pace.
Hey Bob, it's Betty Jo.
Hi, Betty Jo. Thank you for calling in. I don't know. Are you guys seeing my comments, or do I have to put them in the window, or do you see them on the side?
No. We see them.
Oh, you do see them.
Yes, we do.
So it's not necessary for me to copy and paste them into the thing there.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that is good news. I'm so glad like that. I'll put another comment in there. I did not know that you guys could see the comments. So anyway, let me play catch up. KK says you can put in an emergency show cause and order in regards to the falsification of the statements. So I guess she's trying to help you out there. She further says you need to put in another emergency ICPC. I don't know if she needs to put in another ICPC because you have the one that shows it's not expired. That's the document you need to show the judge.
Correct, and that's what we got. I got copies of my licensing and my home study and all that stuff done, and I sent it into the clerk of courts to prove that it's not expired, and now we have to wait for another trial or another court date coming up to show the caseworker, hey, it's not expired. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe Akima is saying as a backup, maybe a second ICPC emergency one you should grab.
They have 7 days to get their paperwork in a row to have another ICPC drawn up. They have 7 days
Okay.
to do that.
All right. We still got time. The month is not over. Akima?
Well, they have 7 days.
Yeah, Akima, Betty has turned in a second emergency request for ICPC to transfer the child. She's also put in a motion to second time to adopt and be guardianship. Now you're considered an aunt to your niece, right?
Yes.
Right. So Akima, she's an aunt. She's not a grandmother. Now, if the saying is expired and she cannot show proof, she does have the ICPC. She does have proof. And why did not the public defender or the court-appointed attorney show them the ICPC?
They did, and the judge looked at it, and then, like, when the judge was going to say, okay, I'm granting the child to be placed with Betty Jo, which is me, the county attorney and the caseworker said, wait a minute, her stuff is expired.
Yeah, but can't the judge read the paperwork?
Say what?
Couldn't the judge read the paperwork, or your attorney approached the bar and said, Your Honor, please look at the date of this permit? Sometimes judges have to be led like a bull with a ring in its nose.
Yes, and he was that way. He was just
okay.
Stubborn. He
Good.
didn't want to look at it.
Okay. All right.
And now we have this proof in front of him showing, hey, look, it's not expired. I even got my caseworker here that did my ICPC writing a letter saying that it does not expire until March. I am up to date. I am in the process of renewing my license right now as we speak.
Which license is that?
That's the license to be a foster parent.
Aren't you already currently licensed? Aren't you already currently licensed?
Yeah.
Okay. So why do you have to renew it? Is it going to expire?
It's going to expire, yes. It
okay.
expires every 6 months. So every 6 months you have to get a renewal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, anyway, Akima is trying to help you. She says evidently she's getting adequate counsel. You need to put in for a Marston for another lawyer. Well, right now, the lawyer seems to be doing his job. So that's okay, Kima. Yeah, you have to send it certified and it has to be signed for. Yeah, she will do that, Akima. Thank you for the advice, Akima.
Yep.
And it says it really doesn't matter whether she takes the classes or not because she is a kinship resource technically. Yes, she is a kinship. She's an aunt. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents, siblings, all relatives. They're all connected to the child. Even cousins.
It has to be first relative of the child. It can't be like second uncle. It can't be second aunt.
Right.
It has to be first aunt, first uncle.
She is her brother. She is a sister to her brother, and she's trying to help her brother. And they have worked it out among themselves. They want guardianship. Did you ever purchase the book called The California Guide of Grandparents to Get Their Grandchildren, Custody of their Grandchildren, Step by Step? How is that book? Is that book any good? Is that good? Any good?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right. All my audience, do you hear that? Do you hear that? I'll have Grace as soon as I take the time. I can't type on my computer. Otherwise, I would do this myself. There are things that I can type on here, but I can't type. So I'm asking Grace to put in about that guide, the California guide for grandparents, step by step to have guardianship of their child. And again, that book is only $9.99, but with my discount, you get it for 50% off, $4.99. And all you have to do is use my code, capital P, capital A, capital C, capital E, number 50. It's something new. It happened during the Christmas time. We all got the emails. All the people that work with the show got the emails and were supposed to put it on there. I've attempted to try to do banners myself, but with my cursor dropping and it skips spaces, you'll never understand what I type. This is the most frustrating thing right now. I have a new phone. I had problem with my old phone. People couldn't hear me, and now it works so great. Can you hear me okay, Betty?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Yeah, my old phone, people had trouble hearing from me. Faye always had trouble hearing me. She always had trouble calling me. You had no problem calling me, right?
No.
Okay, so my new phone is working. And you'll probably ask me how I afforded a new phone. Well, my two loving sons, this is how families are when they help each other. My two loving sons knew I did not have money for a new phone. So there was a deal right before Christmas that we could get a new Samsung 24 FE for $1.99 a month for 3 years. And after 3 years, it's your phone. So if you multiply 36 months times $1.99, it's less than $100 for a phone that's worth $700. But you got to pay the tax. The tax on $700 was $70. You also have to pay with this carrier an upgrade charge of $35. They paid that. They also needs a case and a glass cover. There was an OtterBox given for it, and that was $70. My boys paid for that. And on top of that, there's a glass cover you put on the phone, and that was another $35. They have paid for everything. All I have to pay is $1.99 a month for the next 3 years. So the phone is good. I wish I could get a computer like that. Yeah, what about the grandparents book?
That grandparents book is not just for grandparents. It has so much information in it. It's for anybody that's trying to get custody of a kiddo.
Oh, that's good news to hear. It's good news to hear because I have not read it or seen it yet. All I hear is from people. So I'm so glad that it's out there. I'm trying to get a copy myself. And hopefully I'll have it up as one of my headings in my room where I can put it up like I do with my phone number and with the how to text messages in here and everything. And by the way, I forgot to tell you all tonight, by talking on the phone, and Betty's already done this, or by being a guest on my Facebook, you get a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. He will talk to you. He will talk to you. And I will ask you if you want it, and then I'll tell you the instructions of how to get it, that free consultation for 15 minutes. It's a Zoom meeting, but believe me, Betty, when you talked to Mr. Davis, was it worth the talk?
Oh, it's worth every penny.
I mean, she didn't have to pay anything. She talked. Yeah, she talked for 15 minutes. She actually talked longer because Mr. Davis is not a clock watcher. And I bet you felt good. Did you feel good after the talk with Vincent Davis?
Oh, I did. And now I'm doing every Saturday morning his schooling that he does.
Great.
And that's amazing. That's something that I would recommend anybody to attend. You want to have a pencil and a pen and paper and make a bunch of notes. Listen to all the questions, and maybe if you have a question, ask it. Don't hesitate to ask, because it's a good thing to ask because I didn't understand my rights as a aunt to my niece that I can get full-blown custody of her. I did not know that I could do that.
No, a lot of people don't know that.
Am I allowed to?
They don't know that. So the book on getting custody.
No, it's just grandparents.
Yeah.
Only grandparents that get custody. No, it's not just grandparents. It's the parents, grandparents, the aunts and uncles.
Yep.
And siblings.
Yep. And siblings, and also I imagine first cousins too.
Nope. They actually fall underneath where the aunts and uncles because their children underneath that perspective.
Okay.
I thought the same thing too. I was like, well, maybe my kids can adopt my niece.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do with it because they're minor children.
And for all you listeners, for all you listeners, I want you to know that Betty is a great foster mom. She took in a child, a 4-year-old boy, that their parents were killed. Was it last Friday or the Friday before last?
It was last Friday.
Last Friday, a boy at 4 years old lost his mom and dad, and she is a foster parent. She took them in. She does not take them in for adoption. She only takes them in to help them. She is a great foster care mom. Not all foster people are bad. She's one of the few that are good. So I really want to.
This afternoon that the little boy aunt that lives in Oregon is going to be getting custody of him.
Oh, good.
Aunt, and she's petitioning the judge to get custody, and I'm going to help her in as much way as I can. I even gave her the grandparents book. I was like, hey, read this. If you have questions, call Mr. Davis.
Yes. Now, when you signed up for the school, was it hard to sign up for the school?
No, I just called Mr. Davis. Well, I called Grace, and I said, Grace, I need to get on the schooling with Mr. Davis. And she said, okay, do you want to be a member or do you want to be a one-time guest? Because if you're a one-time guest, it doesn't cost nothing.
Okay.
If you want to be a member where you can join every Saturday. That's every Saturday of the month. You can join for $99.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And that is so much. I mean, I had so many questions last week because I didn't know what was going to happen in court. Didn't know what would go on. And my brain was just rattling. And I'm like, oh, what can I say? What can I ask? And I'm like, okay, I have all these questions. Instead of asking my attorney, I asked somebody that's got a lot of experience dealing with CPS.
Right.
That can explain it to me.
I know, Betty,
Like
you are saying so much for all my listeners out there, and there's about 10 people right now listening. I know I don't see them all because some are silent. They don't text. But for all the people, including my people from other countries, I've had lots of people from Canada, Ontario, Quebec. I've had lots of people. I had a person from England, from Harwich, England, a mom that broke down in tears. Remember that day, Betty?
Uh-huh.
She was in tears, this mom from England. And another lady was in tears from Africa. It hurts people. From South Africa, I had another lady. So we are helping everybody in this room. Everybody gets to say what they want to say, and we try to help them. You got Akima Richardson, who's been on my show helping all the time. She really takes the care from you. There's Crystal Salazar, or Christine or Crystal Salazar, that's been in a room for a long time, and it really helps there. So besides Betty and Akima Richardson, who tonight that have been talking, I have Margaret tonight. I'm so glad to hear from Tessa and hear from Margaret. I'm getting close to the end of my show. Grace I'm starting the show too late, and the reason why I allow myself a half an hour. Now I allow myself an hour to get my computer going to get the show to happen. And tonight I was able to do that. So it should be pretty soon finished. I know it's 2 minutes to the hour. It's 56 minutes on my showtime. I try to give you guys a full 60 minutes. But I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Tessa and Akima and Betty. And who else I'm leaving out? I keep thinking, and Margaret, for all calling in. And I want to thank all the people that are not here. JD, Crystal Salazar. I want to thank Faith Manley, who's been trying to get over double pneumonia she has. She's the girl from Richmond, Kentucky that has been so helpful in my room. And so she is trying to fight to get guardianship of her 21-year-old son. And she's having a hard time with the corrupt police and the corrupt social workers. But I really want to thank you all for listening and helping one another. This is a kind room. This is a kind room. And I thank all the countries out there. It's amazing that we are a big family worldwide, whether we're talking to Leica in South Africa or talking to Betty in Montana. No matter where we're talking to, someone in Australia or Bangladesh or in the Middle East or all over Europe, we all talk with respect to one another. We all help one another. So I'm telling you, join his school. You'll get a lot free information. You'll get a lot. There's a one-time, no charge for school, and try it out. If you like it, then there's a fee right now of $99. And that is great. That is great there. So I'm going to have to curtail my show because it is now 8 o'clock. There may be other shows after my show, so I got to be careful I don't extend too long. Anyway, I will try this format of an hour before showtime to get on. And maybe that is working better. So God bless all of you. Betty, best of luck on what you're doing. And Akima, thank you for your advice. Thank you all. And remember to keep fighting for your child. Remember that. You need to keep fighting. Don't give up. If I had a magic wand, I wish much happiness and success with you out there. So this is Bob Pace saying good night and God bless. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Okay. At 10 o'clock. So this is
Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Okay, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.